Tempo limitato. No. Dai, facciamola senza patemi. Ciao Zodiac. Facciamo una modalità tranquilla, così possiamo anche discutere tra noi. Ok, vediamo l'inizio. Clic sinistro sul testo, premi barra spaziale per procedere. Clic su puntini puntini sulla destra per far scorrere il testo automaticamente. No, facciamolo scorrere noi. Premi ESC per accedere alle opzioni. Secondo me sono stati i seni della protagonista. Cara, c'ha la vista lunga. Utilizzare la rotella di scorrimento quando si libra sopra la casella di testo per vedere ciò che è stato detto in precedenza. Un attimo che apro il gatto. Ciao Isid.
Avete proprio dell'ottimo caffè qui a Twin Peaks e dell'ottima crostata di ciliegie.
Genial mitico.
Grazie Romea e grazie Isid, Destiny per Lost. Interessante titolo. Hai visto? Ci ho messo molto a partorirlo, è stato pensato bene. Ciao Romea. Ok.
Genial mitico. Non ho la minima idea di quello che sta succedendo.
L'ira di Sirio si scaglierà su di te! Colpo segreto del drago nascente!
Isid. Grazie. Grazie cara per Lost.
Grazie, amico mio.
Grazie Pal. Allora, leggiamo questa introduzione. Addirittura la clip.
Avete proprio dell'ottimo caffè.
Non riesco a leggere il titolo, è andato sopra troppo presto. Quanta gente?
Genial mitico. Non ho la minima idea di quello che sta succedendo.
Dove sta Giasone? Non riesco a trovare il messaggio di Giasone, ma c'è Giasone? Ah, ecco, anche se no, mi fa anche cercare, maledetto. Comunque, leggiamo la lettera. Questa lettera. Cara Miss Fortune, spero che questa lettera le sia gradita. Ho apprezzato molto il nostro scambio di opinioni riguardo l'ultima opera di Guide quello lì. Movaisor, non lo so, non so pronunciarlo. Avuto quando ci incontrammo l'ultima volta. Se lo chiami 4 volte esce dalla schermata. Ci proviamo? Giasone. 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 No, non è uscito. In compenso la mia gatta mi sta dando del pazzo. E non solo lei, credo. Ti esce mentre si sta in mano, ah, ecco. E no, non vale. Allora. Per un attimo si è sembrato Isid addirittura. E c'ha ragione. Isid ha uscito il pesce. Allora, vorrei cordialmente invitarla ad uno dei miei rendezvous segreti che si terrà la sera del 27 di questo mese. Attenzione, il 27 è il mio numero fortunato. Festeggeremo la mia recente acquisizione di una proprietà alquanto storica. Credo che le potrà piacere. Quindi noi siamo questa Miss Fortune. Il nome è un programma. Attendo vostre risposte. Cordiali ossequi, Principe Titanico. Un nome quanto particolare. Ed eccola qui. Volete che alzi il volume? Va bene. Poi ad un'asta di pezzi d'arte che incontrai per la prima volta il principe. Sembrava che il mondo gli girasse intorno. Francamente lo reputo uno zoticone. Ma se accettassi soltanto inviti dalla gente che approvo, non mi inviterebbero così spesso, quindi è molto choosy lei. Francamente lo reputo uno zoticone. Ah no, questo l'abbiamo già letto. Perché è uscita 2 volte la stessa riga di dialogo? Non lo so. Giardini.
I stepped onto the curb from my limo and laid eyes on the place for the first time.
Uscii dalla mia limusina appoggiandomi sul bordo dell'auto. Riuscii a posare i miei occhi su quella struttura per la prima volta. Che è una specie di villa, un castello, che cos'è? Gargoyle in stile gotico sedevano minacciosi sulla vecchia dimora, mentre le piante rampicanti scavavano nelle pareti della magione come se volessero strangolarlo. Il polipo che acchiappa le mutande. Quindi siamo una tipa ricca, credo proprio di sì. E c'è questo figuro particolare che si fa chiamare principe titanico. Il principe aveva ragione, rispecchiava i miei gusti. Minchia. Buonasera signora, posso sapere il vostro nome? Grazie Isid.
Avete proprio dell'ottimo caffè qui a Twin Peaks. E dell'ottima
Questo bestione invece d'altro canto non piaceva affatto.
Genial, mitico.
Ma cosa mi dice che lei si chiama Miss Fortune ma porti sfiga?
Is the miss a first name or a title, ma'am?
Miss è il vostro nome è semplicemente un titolo, madama. Ma va. Ecco appunto. Iniziamo con le prese in giro.
Now you must be the butler. So why don't you buttle on and show me inside?
Dovresti essere il maggiordomo, quindi perché non fai il tuo dovere e mi mostri la proprietà? Serata piuttosto umidiccia dovrei dire. Vabbè, più vabbè.
No ma'am. I'm not a butler. Just a valet.
Ecco, lui in effetti si chiama Clops. Perché c'ha un occhio solo, forse. Quindi è un cameriere, non è il maggiordomo.
My name is Clops.
Oh my, what a terrible shame.
Oddio, l'ha detto davvero.
You do open doors, don't
L'ha
you?
detto davvero. Maggiordomo cameriere non dovesse aprirmi la porta, giusto?
Yes, ma'am. Right this way.
Il vestito è un po' piccolino, quello di Clops. Sala principale. Mi sembra parecchio in disuso.
From the cobwebs in the corners and the dust on the railings, it was obvious that the house had been abandoned.
Eh sì, si vede che la casa è abbandonata.
Some high society guests might have been insulted to be invited to a venue in such ill repair, but it didn't bother me.
Qualche persona d'alta società poteva reputare questo invito come un insulto. Date le condizioni pietose dello stabile, onestamente questa cosa non mi dà fastidio, quindi è schizzinosa ma fino a un certo punto lì. La dimora è invecchiata bene, nonostante la prima impressione.
Miss Fortune has arrived.
Miss Fortune, good evening. There are
Orazio.
refreshments on the side table. Please do
Perché è
help
vestito
yourself.
con questo... Oh, non lo so, non so neanche come definirlo. Miss Fortune è arrivata.
Why, thank you. So, are you the butler? Or are you going to tell me you're just
Perché lei cerca disperatamente il
the
maggiordomo?
concierge?
Butler? No. I'm not a servant.
Mi ricorda Horace Lumacorno, cappello a parte. Chi è Horace Lumacorno? Allora, lui non è un servitore, almeno questo è quello che dice lui.
I am a close friend and trusted advisor to our dear prince.
Caro amico e fidato consigliere del nostro caro principe.
The Grand Magus of his court, if you will. My name is Horatio.
Che cacchio sta succedendo? Ma perché? Perché questa scenata del raid? Mi sono perso qualcosa? Romea, potevi dirmelo. Non riesco a capire, comunque grazie. Allora, il Gran Mago di Corte, il mio nome è Orazio.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Ecco, lei fa la battuta. Per i punti, ma non ci sono punti per il raid, Romea, mi dispiace. Hai fatto qualche prova, qualcosa? Commtessa. Carissima Miss Fortune, come stai tesoro? È bello incontrarti di nuovo.
Contessa de Clessidra. Yes, it's been
Contessa
just
de
ages,
Clessidra,
hasn't it?
erano anni che non ci vedevamo, quindi si conoscono? Era una prova, ah ok.
I should have known you to be here. You're never one to miss an event on the social circuit.
Non sei una di quelle che perde forse eventi di questo calibro sociale.
I dare say I needed something to cheer me up after my late husband's funeral. And an evening like this is just the thing.
Oddio, la voce della Commtessa mi sembra di conoscerla. Devo fare uscire il gatto, arrivo subito. Dicevo, la voce della Commtessa mi sembra di conoscerla. Vorrei dire che avevo bisogno di qualcosa per rallegrarmi dopo... Un po' dopo? Brutta questa espressione. I funerali di mio marito. Ah, ok, quindi è vedova. Una serata del genere è proprio quello che ci vuole. Quanto ha da fare sto gatto lo fa sempre, appena vede una porta chiusa. Non possono esserci porte chiuse in questa casa. Ma lo fanno tutti i gatti, Allora, che ci diciamo? Riguardo tuo marito, l'ultima volta che ci siamo visti... No, chiediamo del marito. Come fa la melodrammatica. Mi spiace tantissimo per tuo marito. Questa è la quarta volta vedova, se non... Mamma mia. Quanti ne ha ammazzati? Come sarebbe a dire la nona? Quindi è 9 volte vedova lei. Minchia.
Ah, yes. They just keep dropping dead, the poor dears. It's so hard to find a good man with stamina these days.
Fa anche la battuta. Che posa da spettacolo kabuki che hai fatto.
Oh my, should I be worried? Perhaps you've been cursed.
Si chiama Miss Fortune, grazie. Lo dicevo che portava sfiga.
Me? Cursed? Nonsense.
Ah, ecco, lo dice anche lì, attenzione. Rottura della quarta parete, quello che abbiamo pensato tutti. Allora, l'ultima volta che ci siamo viste.
Let me see. When exactly was it that we last saw each other? It must have been at the Emperor's Ball.
C'è un imperatore?
Heavens, yes! Wasn't that quite the affair? Were you there when one of the waiters spilled a tray of champagne all over Duchess Reese's dress?
Cosa c'è di divertente in questo?
Oh yes, that was positively scrumptious, wasn't it? I mean, a shame about the dress.
Che bastarde.
I heard she had it made
È
just
quasi palese che c'entri qualcosa. In effetti. Quello deve ringraziare che si chiama Orazio e non Oronzo. Questa è una isola, no, è tutta italiana. No, in realtà no. Ho scoperto che lo studio... la casa di sviluppo è canadese. E non ci sono italiani nel team di sviluppo, quindi non so perché sia stata tradotta proprio in italiano.
Well, given how many people come out nowadays, it was bound to happen to someone. I even heard the poor servant say he was sure he felt someone in the crowd give him a little shove.
Vabbè, queste si accontentano di vedere una che si bagna di champagne, ok.
Surely not. These are high lords and ladies we're talking about. No doubt the man is just making.
E chi ci fa le spese? Il povero cameriere.
You're probably right. Just an unlucky accident, I'm sure.
Ok.
Ah, Miss Fortune, welcome. I'm so delighted.
Eccolo Titanico.
I trust Horatio has been keeping you entertained.
Veramente lui non ha detto un cazzo, non ha fatto niente, l'ha fatto tutto loro. Comunque.
Oh yes, La Comtessa and I were just scandalizing your court jester. Or was he a wizard? In any case, scandalizing him with our intimate marriage details.
Lo sfottono anche in sua presenza. Lui non dice niente. Vado a riaprire al gatto. Il gatto ti vuole uccidere. Probabile. Giovanni di Pokémon mischiato a Milord di Sailor Moon. Mamma mia, Giovanni. Cos'hai tirato fuori?
Of course you were. So tell me, what do you think of the house?
Non abbiamo ancora visto un cazzo della casa.
I must admit, when I first came into this little period piece, I immediately...
Acid quello. Devo ammetterlo, appena arrivato in questo pezzo d'antiquariato ho subito pensato a lei. È un complimento o un'offesa? Che cosa dovrebbe essere?
It seems melancholy, mysterious, and maybe just a little.
Oh, Angelus, è vero, potrebbe essere Angelus.
I quite like it so far.
Ecco la maschera, misterioso. Potrebbe essere Angelus. Finora mi piace.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I will take you on a more detailed tour shortly. But we are still waiting.
Deve ancora arrivare qualcun altro.
And what timing. Here they are now.
Miss Charisse and Miss Leah have arrived, sir.
Miss Sheris e Miss Leah. Quindi altre due miss. Oh mio Dio. È modo di andare vestite a una serata importante così? Sembra che stai in spiaggia.
Is that the Charisse? The industrial heiress? The one who's been throwing all those charity balls ever since she came into her fortune?
Questi sono Loli o Trap? Quindi una di queste due ha ereditato una fortuna che sperpera in beneficenza, ma saranno anche cazzi suoi.
The very same.
My beautiful Charisse, please come in. Without you, this place is dark.
No, no, davvero l'hanno scritto. Davvero l'hanno scritto? Oh mio Dio. Spero che non sia voluto. Questo posto è scuro e pallido, ma la tua pallezza lo riaccende. Leggendolo come no. No, Romia, non lo leggo. Se ti può interessare, fai lo screen. Più di quello no. Non so come va a finire poi. Ma queste icone cosa sono qui sopra? Ah, posso salvare, ok. No, no, non lo leggo.
You're too kind.
Ah, quindi è questa quella straricca. Quest'altra chi è allora?
Oh my! I had heard she was seeing someone, but I never imagined it was him.
Come lui?
Indeed. This party just got a little more.
Quindi c'è un affair tra Titanico e Sheris?
And this must be Leah, the girlhood friend of whom you speak
Ah,
so
ecco,
very
un'amica
highly.
d'infanzia.
Yeah, nice place you got here. If you're liking it.
Mi ricorda tantissimo un personaggio di Dragon Ball questa qui. Non so chi però. Ti piace intrattenere gente morta? Ma che cosa stai dicendo?
Dead people? Yeah, I assure you, fair lady, you are perfectly safe here.
Videl? Non lo so. Probabilmente la posa. Mi ricordo un personaggio di Dragon Ball.
I think it was a critique of the decor, not of our safety.
Credo che quella sia stata una critica alle decorazioni della casa. Non lo so, credo che fosse a doppio senso. C18, sì, può essere che sia, mi ricordi C18. Con la testa rotonda, sì. Liano dice sul serio, una bella casa davvero.
On the contrary, Miss Leah may be more right than she knows. Until recently, this mansion was the property of the Lee family. Perhaps you know.
Fino a poco tempo fa questa magione era di proprietà della famiglia Lee. Non li conosciamo. Conosciamo un Lee. Chissà se sono collegati.
Oh yes, who doesn't? A distinguished family of the nobility with a respected pedigree and a long history of public service and political influence.
La famiglia distinta nella nobiltà.
So, short version, some stuffy old rich people.
Dei vecchi palloni gonfiati ricchissimi. Ok. Questa non le manda a dire.
Almost all of the estates out here, away from the city, were owned by old families.
Quasi tutte le ville fuori dalla città appartenevano a vecchie
Many
famiglie.
have had to sell over the years.
Molte di loro sono state costrette a vendere.
It must be a bit sad for them, leaving all that history behind.
Mamma mia, la tristezza proprio.
Indeed, and especially so for the Lees. Theirs is a tale of tragedy, and it ends, as they so often do, in sorrow and blood.
Qualcosa mi dice che qualcuno ci sta per lasciare. Oh, che ha paura dei fulmini?
Come, the house itself will tell its share of the tale.
La casa ci racconterà la sua versione del racconto. Hai fatto che cosa? Hai fatto lo screen? Sala fumatori. Non è messa benissimo.
This is the smoking room. Did the Lee family use this as a quiet place to relax after their evening meals, I wonder?
Ah, ok, qui possiamo vedere i dialoghi passati, perfetto. Questa è la sala fumatori, mi chiedo se i Lee usassero questa stanza per rilassarsi dopo la cena.
Or was this the proverbial smoke-filled room where secret deals would be struck and the fates of nations decided?
Sembra come se Orazio ha fatto partire il fulmine, sì. Ok, la sala fumatori.
My attention was drawn to a curio cabinet on one side of the room. Some of the items within rather struck me.
Che lei è stata attirata chiaramente dal coltello.
This cabinet. Are these items originals?
Sono questi oggetti
I
originali?
believe so. I have endeavored to change as little as possible about the house since acquiring.
Credo di sì. Beh, se tu non ce li hai messi, allora stavano già da prima.
The Lees were well known as eclectic collectors.
Ah, ok, erano dei collezionisti.
They also say that sorcery ran strongly in the Lee family, you know.
Vabbè, le solite dicerie, immagino.
Great. As if we didn't have enough reason to think this place was owned by a bunch of creepers.
Come se non avessimo abbastanza motivi per credere che questo posto apparteneva a degli squilibrati.
Come now. Surely a smart little girl like you doesn't put any stock in old superstitions.
Ecco, lei non ci crede, per fortuna.
Magic and superstitions, no. Weird and creepy people, on the other hand, are plenty
Ecco,
real.
su questo ha ragione, che la gente strana e raccapricciante purtroppo esiste.
No need to worry, young lady. You're among good company here.
Mi sa che tu sei proprio uno di quelli strani e raccapriccianti.
We will have time to look around in greater detail later, I assure you. For the moment, follow me, if you would.
Camera del re. Addirittura.
They called this the king bedroom.
Mazza, erano messi male se hanno venduto la villa con tutta la collezione d'arte. Eh sì, sono caduti in disgrazia a quanto pare. Questa è la camera reale, luogo importantissimo per il padrone di casa.
Now it is as you see it, empty and forlorn, as it waits for a new master to take the place of the old.
It feels so cold.
Sempre parole incoraggianti da questa ragazza.
Milady, I can call for Klops to bring you a sweater.
Ecco. La solita battuta fuori posto di Orazio.
And while he's at it, perhaps also a textbook on metaphorical versus literal language.
E visto che è disponibile anche un libro che distingua metafore e linguaggio letterale, che dici? Perché questa frecciata?
You are so kind, but I'm fine. It's just the atmosphere of this
Mamma mia.
place.
The Lees were among our most powerful families before the Imperial Revolution. But like most of the old guard at the time,
Ecco, c'è stata una rivoluzione imperiale e lì hanno parteggiato per la parte sconfitta, quindi forse è per quello che sono finiti in disgrazia.
in many ways, the family never recovered.
Ecco appunto, la famiglia non si riprese più in molti ambiti.
They certainly never recovered financially at the very least. Thus the sale of this very house.
Ok, quindi stanno a terra anche economicamente.
It's almost as if old money runs out if you're not smart with it. Huh, who'd have thought?
Tu chi sei per dirlo, scusami?
Quite so. But at least the house has gone to those who can appreciate its history.
Giusto, ma almeno la dimora è andata a qualcuno che ne apprezza la sua storia. Camera della regina.
This is the queen bedroom, and it has a fascinating
Ha una storia affascinante, sentiamo.
It is said that the famous senator Lamika Lee herself met her end in this very room during the final days of the revolution.
Si dice che il famoso senatore Lamika Lee sembra uno di quei giochi di parole dei barzellettieri. Sia passata a miglior vita in questa stanza durante gli ultimi giorni della rivoluzione.
Yeah, I remember learning about that. She was one of the staunchest supporters of the Old Republic.
And she was killed here? In her own bedroom?
Chi l'ha detto che è stata assassinata?
Terrible.
Hanno solo detto che è morta. Come fai a saperlo che è stata assassinata? C'entra qualcosa?
By all accounts, she did not go down without a fight. Revolutionary soldiers had
Da quello che riporta la storia non andò giù facilmente, senza combattere. I soldati della rivoluzione assalirono i giardini, ma nessuno che arrivò qui ne uscì vivo, addirittura.
They even say that she sustained herself for days on the blood of the soldiers who kept coming for her.
Vabbè.
Well, points for ingenuity. I'll grant her that.
But that was all a long time ago. There wouldn't still be any blood left here now.
Giustamente lei si preoccupa di trovare del sangue rinsecchito di tanti anni prima.
Really? With all the red, it's rather difficult to say, isn't it? Who knows how much of it might have soaked into
Ecco,
the
arriva.
floor, the walls.
Chissà quanto sangue sia stato assorbito dal pavimento, dai muri, dal letto. Molto confortante. Ammazza è morto di morte naturale durante la guerra civile. Che grosso di dietro.
You are right, my darling Charisse.
È Riamsto. Riamsto.
A good tale for a night of ghost stories, perhaps. But thankfully, these are happier times.
Sembrerebbe una bella storia degli orrori per una serata a tema. Vedi, ci rubano l'idea. Ma ringraziamo il cielo che viviamo in giorni migliori. Proseguiamo, sì. Sala da pranzo.
And here we have the dining hall. I see that Klops has left some tea and coffee on the table for us.
Ok, del tè e del caffè in una stanza piena di ragnatele.
And orange juice too, I hope. I'm running rather low. All this dry air, you know?
Ah, quindi sta bevendo aranciata? Per fare pandan con il suo completo da mago?
I'll see to it, sir.
È un po' inquietante questo Klops.
For me, just a spot of black coffee would be wonderful.
L'ha detto davvero? L'ha detto davvero? Ok.
This concludes our formal tour of the estate, but our evening is far from over.
La nostra serata è lungi dall'essere finita. Cosa ci propone Titanico?
Tonight, my friends, is more than just a housewarming party.
È più di una semplice festicciola. Cosa stai cercando di dire?
Before the night is done, I have a very special announcement to
Un
make
annuncio
to the world.
speciale, sentiamo.
Don't worry, my dear. You are safe with me.
Ti rassicuro con me. Allora tu sei sicuramente il primo che muore.
Thank you. I was just a bit startled.
E lei fa la svenevole, ne approfitta.
Oh, heavens, yes. The light's going out. What horror. I dare say I may faint myself, delicate flower that I am.
Ma perché?
Flower? A noxious weed, perhaps?
L'ho detto che questa non le manda a dire.
Oh, please, Miss Fortune, allow me. I've got you.
Poverino.
Oh, what would we do without you? On second thought, you can unhand me.
Ecco.
I seem to be quite all right.
Si è ripresa subito.
Good, good. Because there's nothing to be worried about. It's just a little blackout.
Secondo me per cura degli altri personaggi non parla di sé la Fortune. Non lo so, non sappiamo ancora inquadrare
Would you be so good as
che
to
tipo
take
di
the
persona
rest, my
sia.
dear Horatio?
Di certo per aver perso 9 mariti.
L'ira di Sirius si scaglierà su di te! Colpo segreto del drago nascente!
Ma no, non è partito il bot, perché? Grazie Angelus. Ben arrivato. Vedi, ci sei anche tu in questa visual novel. Questo con la maschera con le corna. Che abbiamo ribattezzato come personaggio. Ti chiami Titanico.
Yes, of course.
Troppe
My
M si è
talents will shed
intrippato.
some light on all of us in no time.
Intanto le mie magie spargeranno luce su di noi al più presto. Ti prego, smettila.
I absolutely adore these old homes, but they do so often have problems with the wiring, don't they?
Adoro queste vecchie case, ma sono sicura che abbiano spesso problemi con i collegamenti, vero? Sta mascherando un certo nervosismo la contessa.
Excuse me, boss. Sir, There's a telephone call for you.
Ecco, lui si allontana, Orazio si è allontanato. Uno dei due muore sicuramente.
Here? How mysterious. Klops will fetch some candles for you so you can look around while Horatio works his magic on the lighting. I will return very shortly.
Ok.
I wandered back to the king bedroom by myself to take a closer look at some of the decor.
Girovagando tornai alla camera del re da sola per dare un'occhiata più da vicino al mobilio. Questa vuole fregarsi il coltello, già lo so. Quindi è davvero un mago? Allora perché ha bisogno di un cameriere che gli serve l'aranciata? No che non è un mago. Beh. Ah, ecco, posso controllare la stanza? Controlliamo il
The
letto.
elaborate carvings on the wooden bedpost intrigued me. Spirits and demons of all sorts circled and surrounded any lord who
Spiriti e demoni di ogni tipo aleggiavano su questo letto e su chiunque ci dormisse. Bello.
Was this preferable, I wondered, than sleeping in the arms of Lamika Lee, blood drinker, as she
Valida alternativa. Credo piuttosto che dormire tra le braccia della carnefice l'amica lì, giusto? Ok, come mi faccio girare? Tende.
The air in the old house was still and thick with dust. But even had there been a draft, I doubt the black drapes by the room's window would have stirred.
Che truffatore colorato.
Even I was surprised by how thick and heavy the material was. No sunlight would have... Looks like our court magician has managed to conjure back a little light for us.
Ok, è tornata la luce. Possiamo esplorare il resto della stanza. Libreria.
Had these books on the shelf belonged to the Lee family as well? Curious, I skimmed a few of the
Leggiamo
titles.
qualche titolo.
A History of the Republic, Genealogy of the Great Families, How to Train Killer Bats, Genghis Khan and the 21 Balloons. All dreadfully dull.
Tutti pallosi classici. Ok. Ah, ecco. Posso girarmi così. Perfetto. Ritratto.
I'd hoped that by taking a closer look at the ruined portrait, I might be able to discern who had been pictured. I could imagine no shortage of delicious reasons why a lord's portrait might be disfigured in a house such as this.
Speravo che avvicinandomi al ritratto sarei riuscito a identificare chi fosse raffigurato. Potevo soltanto immaginare quali motivi abbiano spinto qualcuno a sfigurare il ritratto del padrone di casa. Che è stato sospeso, cala. Sbrindellato da un servitore infastidito mentre il padrone di casa era assente. Beh, in effetti chi può essere stato? Allora, che altro c'è? Sedia rossa.
For just the slightest of moments, I considered collapsing into the antique red chair in the room's corner. After all, we'd spent the evening on our feet, traipsing about the house.
Io non mi ci siederei là sopra. Sai quanti acari?
Then I remembered that spiderwebs don't just come out of nowhere, and that upholstery is a prime place for the little nasties to hide. I would have to remember to warn our doe-eyed little angel.
Avrei dovuto ricordarlo al nostro caro Angelo dagli occhi dolci. Angelo dagli occhi dolci. Che il ritratto del servitore sbrindellato mi genera qualche sospetto, dici?
At last I found you, Misfortune. You need to come right away. Please.
Che è successo?
Whatever is the matter? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Sembra che abbiate visto un fantasma. Col vostro occhiaccio.
There's no time to waste, miss. You should see for yourself.
Vediamo. Chi è morto?
Gathering my skirts, I hurried after the hulking butler. sorry, valet. Back to the hall where we had first arrived. From the urgency in his pace and in his voice, I knew that something had happened. But still...
Oh. C'ha anche una gamba rotta.
Prince Titanico. He was dead.
Mi dispiace, Angelus.
I was no stranger to dead bodies.
Ero solita alla vista di cadaveri e certo ha ucciso 9 mariti.
But from the way he was lying, it was clear that his death was no accident.
Quando come giaceva a terra era chiaro che la sua morte non è stato un incidente, ci credo, ha le gambe spezzate.
He'd been murdered. And that meant that someone in the mansion...
L'assassino si trovava nella magione. Allora, cosa possiamo controllare? Niente? Ok. Immagino un po', chi sarà il principale indiziato di questo assassinio? Secondo voi chi può essere? Minchia, tutto sto tempo per caricare? Partita è stata salvata. Abbiamo finito il primo capitolo. Sono 3 capitoli in totale, quindi siamo a un terzo del gioco. Il maggiordomo, ecco perché lei lo cercava insistentemente, perché è sempre il maggiordomo il colpevole e lei lo sapeva. Lo sapeva da prima. Orazio, ho trovato le altre signore. Ora Clops, cosa diamine sta succedendo? Cosa sono questi linguaggi? Oddio, tutta storta. Zitta tu che hai ammazzato 4 mariti. Non sei neanche tu tanto santarella.
Everyone, shield your eyes. This is not a sight for fair sensibilities.
Però lui continua a bere l'aranciata,
The other guests stood in the doorway opposite myself and Klops. My eyes fell on our oh-so-sensitive ingenue, Charisse. If ever there was a time to faint for real, this was it. But she didn't.
In effetti prima si spaventava di tutto, ma non di questo. Sta a vedere che è necrofila?
Somebody needs to call the police.
Yes, ma'am. Right away.
It'll take them a while. We're ways out of the city.
We shouldn't touch anything. Let's all go back to the dining room and wait for the police to arrive.
Mi sembra corretto. Quello che farei anch'io.
No.
Punto.
What?
We can't just sit and wait. We need to investigate.
Certo, proprio tu devi investigare.
I'm with you on that, Sherry.
Well, if our precocious little darlings are going to be poking about, I'm certainly not going to be left out.
If you insist, then.
My dears, please do be very careful.
We won't disturb anything, Comtessa. I promise.
That is not what I meant. It could be that whoever did this has not gone far.
Non ti è venuto in mente che potrebbe essere uno qualunque degli altri presenti, no? Ecco. Lui fa puntini puntini alla luna.
Oh.
Anche lui fa i puntini puntini. Tutti puntini puntini. Cos'è questo, un cosplay di massa?
Surely it was just some villain who has since fled the scene.
Dovrebbe essere stato qualche marrano che ha già lasciato la scena del crimine.
I'll keep an eye out, sir. Just nobody wander far, you understand?
Perhaps it would have been more comforting to believe the culprit was some stranger, a shadow in the night that was now long gone. But it just wouldn't have fit the evening's theme, now would it?
In effetti.
I had a hunch that there was something more afoot in the old manor that night, and I certainly wasn't going to trust anyone else to properly figure it out.
Ok, siamo nella sala da pranzo.
No, what a tragedy. What a cruel twist of fate. And to think, tonight was meant to be an evening of joy and making merry.
I'm not exactly sure that joy is the word I'd pick for an evening in this house. But I'll admit, I was never expecting anything like this.
Beh, effettivamente con quella compagnia parlare di gioia proprio.
It was such a monstrous sight. Do you think Miss Leah and Miss Charisse will be all right?
All right. They looked healthy enough to me.
Anche troppo.
No, I mean, do you think they'll be distraught? You, if you don't mind me saying, are a woman of the world, Miss Fortune. But they are so young, so pure, like a newly bloomed flower that has only seen sunlight, never knowing that there is also night and all the horrors that it hides.
A rose, by any other name, can still prick you quite nastily if you don't know what you're doing.
I beg your pardon?
Never mind, my dear Horatio.
Niente, non ci arriva che possono essere state quelle due. Dopo 9 mariti, Orazio? Ti sei corretto un'aranciata. Allora, cosa gli chiediamo? Riguardo il principe, dove ti trovavi? Riguardo l'annuncio. Chiediamogli dove si trovava.
Where were you when this absolutely dreadful business happened?
I imagine I must have still been in the basement, or very close to it. I'd only just got the lights back on, and I was...
Ok, lui in certo qual senso potrebbe avere l'alibi, perché era andato ad aggiustare l'impianto. Quindi tecnicamente potrebbe essere quello che ha avuto meno tempo per escogitare l'omicidio.
Was he the one to discover the body then?
Oppure potrebbe essere stato lui che ha innescato il blackout per avere l'opportunità di ammazzarlo.
I believe so. He asked me to help find all the guests, which leads me to cleverly deduce that I was the first one he encountered after the gruesome discovery.
Ah, clever indeed. Nothing gets past you, does it, dear?
Ahem. Well, I wouldn't go that far. But where were you, Miss Fortune?
I was in the king bedroom.
Alone?
As it happens, yes. I've always been the sort to need a little bit of me time every so often, you know.
But you could have been in danger!
Oh, horrors, you're right. If only I was clairvoyant, I might even have been worried at the time too.
Non capisco se lui fa lo stupido apposta o proprio è stupido.
Well, never fear. You're safe with me now.
No, è proprio stupido.
Yes, I'm sure I am.
Allora, chiediamogli dell'annuncio della vendita.
Prince Titanico mentioned an announcement that he wished to make this evening. Do you know what that was all about?
Yes. Or at least, I think so.
You mean you're not sure?
You must understand, the prince was a man with a flair for the dramatic. He rather liked his secrets, and hence his surprises.
Senti come lo pertula, sì, in continuazione.
That I don't doubt. In fact, I wouldn't put it past him to have staged his own.
Insceneggiare non so se esiste come parola.
My dear friend did have rather unusual tastes, but I fear in this case it was not part of the plan.
Beh, ci mancherebbe.
I see. So, are you going to tell me then?
About what?
About the announcement, of course.
No, I think not.
Perché non vuole dircelo? Inscenare, sì, credo anch'io, perché insceneggiare non credo esista.
As I said, he liked his secrets. Telling you now, it just wouldn't be what he wanted.
Allora, stai a vedere che fa il finto stupido lui. Secondo me non è imbranato come vuole farci credere. È incazzatissima lì.
I suppose I will have to make do on my own.
Ha denti stretti, lo dice.
A true magician never reveals his secrets, Miss Fortune, nor those of his friends.
Ok, chiediamoli del principe.
Horatio, how long had you known our dear departed host?
I have, well, had been his closest friend and confidant for many years.
Che si conoscevano da molto.
The grand magus of his court, didn't you say?
I did, but alas, though I can conjure a parlor trick or two, I could do little to foresee this unseemly doom.
Colgo una certa nota di sfida in queste parole.
Indeed. Unseemly. Just the word I would have used. Presumably you would know then if the prince had any enemies.
A man like the prince always does, but none of them are here.
Non sono presenti i suoi nemici.
I would say the evidence suggests the contrary.
Surely you don't mean to suggest that it was one of us. After all, didn't you say that all your husbands just died from bad luck? Perhaps it was that.
Yes, quite.
Sfiga.
Bad luck. I do believe it's about time I took a bit of a stroll.
Ok, questo non penso ci dirà nient'altro.
Please, if you have need of my talents.
Worry not, my dear. If the lights happen to go out again, I'll know just who to call.
Ora puoi esaminare l'inventario. Clicca l'icona della valigia in alto a sinistra.
Goodness, the evening must be wearing on me more than I thought. Even my purse seems heavy. A knife? In my bag? It's even flecked with blood.
Lo dicevo che ha adocchiato il pugnale lì. Però a quanto pare ce l'ha messo qualcuno. Pugnale aggiunto all'inventario.
What's this? A ring? It looks decidedly pricey, but it's not one of mine. How did it get here?
Un anello sembra... è intero e rotto, boh. Anello di diamante.
Just a moment, I was confused. But then the gruesome sight of Titanico's body flooded my thoughts, and the truth hit me. I was being set up. Almost certainly, what I held in my hands was the knife.
Qualcuno la vuole incastrare. Però ad averla invitata è stato Titanico stesso, quindi se qualcuno ha voluto incastrarla non era... Chi poteva sapere che ci sarebbe stata anche lì? L'unico era Orazio.
I don't know how it got in my purse, but whoever put it there had made a mistake.
C'è una cosa che so per certa è che se c'è qualcuno che vuole incastrarmi per l'omicidio se ne pentirà di sicuro. Si fa più interessante. Ok. Allora, nella sala da pranzo ci siamo appena stati, c'era Orazio. Direi di andare in ordine. Iniziamo dalla sala principale. Andiamo a vedere che cosa c'è. Da quello che si nota, l'omicidio misterioso è avvenuto qui all'ingresso. Credo che il colpo richieda uno sguardo più da vicino. Fortunatamente ero abituato ai cadaveri. Andare per 9 volte al funerale di tuo marito ti cambia. Che cazzo fa questo?
It seems I'm not alone here. But what is the poor girl doing? She's just pacing back and forth and muttering to herself. Have the evening's events already broken her fragile little mind?
Impazzita, dici? Oh, parliamo, dai.
My dear little mysteries, what in the world are you doing?
I'm counting.
So good to see they still teach that in grade school these days. How marvelous.
I think the timing seems off. I need to check again.
Che cazzo sta dicendo?
On second thought, maybe they don't teach it so well after all.
Comunque tutti che guardano in basso noto. Allora, chiediamogli dell'affair che c'era con il principe.
In any case, it's a good thing I found you, my dear. I had a feeling you just might be in need of my expertise.
Della mia esperienza, tra virgolette.
Your expertise?
Oh, yes, dear. I've buried 9 husbands after all. I've got this morning business down pat.
Mamma mia, l'ha detto davvero.
Forgive me, I didn't know. I'm so sorry to hear it. That's just so much.
Lei dice che non lo sapeva che lei è vedova 9 volte. Quindi se avesse voluto incastrarla, perché avrebbe dovuto incastrare proprio lei? Cioè, vedere se è vero poi.
One gets used to it. And it's not all bad news. My last husband, the Duke, left me this marvelous country estate that is absolutely to die for. But, silly me, here I am going on and on about myself. You must be so terribly distraught about it.
Devi essere terribilmente distrutta da tutto questo.
The prince and I, well, we hadn't been seeing each other for very long. But still, it's such a horrible crime. That's why I can't rest until I know.
Non mi riposerò finché non verrà fuori la verità.
He did seem rather smitten with you, I must say.
Sembrava piuttosto attratto da te.
Well, he just liked to exaggerate, I'm sure.
Bossate per l'anello del Titanico. Bossate, fate mini giù. Si esprimeva anche a modo suo, a suo modo.
Unique is one way to put it. You don't suppose that in his
Non credi che infatuato ti abbia incluso nel testamento, vero? Sarebbe una risvolta interessante.
He never said so anyway.
È inquietante quel coniglio.
Pity. That's usually the first thing I ask for. Ah, well. Live and learn, my dear.
Ok, le tempistiche, cosa intendeva dire?
But darling, what timing is off?
It's Mr. Klops, the butler.
Valet.
Cameriere, giustamente.
Of course.
Well, what about him then?
I saw him go into this room when the lights were out.
Ok, lei sta incolpando Klops.
I see. Is that when he found the body, do you think?
I think so. He came running out looking for Mr. Horatio. I don't think he saw me.
Oh, well, you can't blame the poor man for that. He only sees half as much as the rest of us.
Vedi solo la metà di quello che vediamo noi, sempre molto... Ma tutto questo cosa ha a che fare con il tuo andare sotto... infatti, cosa stava contando?
I think he was in here too long.
Oh no, l'ha detto davvero. Io non lo leggo. Se volete fare lo screen fatelo adesso. Così poi a fine live li raccogliamo tutti. Dove sta Romia? E io quasi quasi ne approfitto per salvare. Ecco appunto. Non lo so fin quando siano... fin quando siano poco volute queste cose.
I beg your pardon. Too long?
Ecco, più del dovuto, cosa intendi?
I've been timing how long it takes to walk from the door to the body. It doesn't add up. I'm sure he was in here longer. Maybe an extra 20 seconds.
20 secondi in più. Beh dai, non è tantissimo 20 secondi.
Well, aren't you a delightfully clever little girl? Maybe you should have been a detective rather than a fabulously wealthy industrial heir.
Avresti dovuto fare il detective invece di un erede di una ricca industria. O sempre diventarlo.
Oh, it's nothing really. It's just, well,
Non è la mia prima volta. Ok.
that's all. I guess that helps a little.
E chissà perché lo sospettavo. Un altro omicidio.
I'm sorry, my dear, but did you say this isn't your first murder?
Yes. I mean, no. I mean,
Stava quasi per confessare la cretina.
but I was there when it happened.
My. I never would have imagined. It must make for an absolutely thrilling story, I'm sure.
Please, you must forgive me, but I really don't want
Ok,
to
non vuole parlarne. Questo è sospetto.
Of course. How rude of me to pry. I'm sure the experience must have been just ghastly for you.
Non crede che questa storia abbia a che fare con la sua precedente esperienza?
Something to do with our current predicament, do you?
No. No, I don't think so. It was a long way away, and the killer was stopped. And besides, except for Leah and I, nobody here was involved.
Ok, c'entra anche Lia?
It would be just awful if there was a serial killer following you around, or something like that. It must just be coincidence.
Deve essere una coincidenza che le persone schiattino quando sei presente, ma parla proprio lei?
I suppose that it must be.
Ok, non abbiamo altre righe di dialogo. Esaminiamo la stanza. Mamma mia, Destiny, ma oggi stai facendo i numeri.
The phone itself was heavy, made of metal, and certainly quite old-fashioned. Normally, that's the sort of style I prefer, but right now, a call
L'aiuto da casa vuole.
come in rather handy.
Beh, ti sei rifatta molti punti, quasi 7000. Pochissimo tempo. Salgo pianissimo. In che senso? Io ho settato il bot perché rilasci, perché assegni 600 punti all'ora.
But why is the receiver dangling like that? Did this table get bumped at some point?
Ok, la cornetta...
The phone itself was heavy, made of... But why is the receiver... I suppose I could dial a number here. If...
Ok, comporre il non sappiamo. Perché 600 punti sulla spedizione ogni tanto li perdo? Ah sì. 600, sì. Se non sbaglio ho messo 10 punti al minuto, il massimo. Ok, non c'è altro da esaminare qui.
The house must have been abandoned for quite some time indeed. For on one side of the hall, part of the wall itself had collapsed, and nature was slowly but surely spilling into the house. And let's hope that the place would hold up long enough for us to wrap up. The house must have been abandoned.
Ok, non c'è niente nel terriccio. Ma il puntatore non si vede, vero? Forse sarebbe meglio metterlo il puntatore. Ok, adesso si vede il cursore, perché altrimenti diventa difficile far capire cosa sto esaminando.
Was it only coincidence that the trail of candles in the center of the main hall seemed to lead straight to the body of the prince? Or had our mysterious killer intentionally used them? Well, tragic as it might be to despoil a work of art, it occurred to me that a candle might come in handy for searching the dark old house.
Ok, abbiamo preso la candela. Esaminiamo il corpo.
I decided it was time to take a closer look at the body. Corpses are always a bit distasteful, to be sure, but I'd seen enough rich old lords killed in unfortunate hunting accidents that I was rather used to it. There was something odd about the prince's right hand. I knelt down to get as close a look as I could without touching it. The palm and inside of the fingers had been burnt and blackened.
Ok, perché avrebbe dovuto annerirsi la mano?
I checked the left hand as well, just to be sure, but it seemed undamaged. There was something odd about it.
Che non posso esaminarla di più.
The prince's most obvious injury was the wound on his back. Judging from the way the clothes had been pierced, it had almost certainly been made by a knife. The wound itself was deep and vicious, clearly the work of no ordinary butter knife. The blood had soaked through the back of the prince's evening wear, but given the nastiness of the wound itself, there wasn't as much of it as I might have expected.
Mi consigliate dei giochi simili ai The Room? Allora c'è Da Vinci's House. Mi pare che si chiami così. È chiaramente ispirato a Da Vinci. Però ancora non l'ho giocato, quindi non lo so com'è.
The prince was face down on the floor, and there was an odd angle to his right leg. So odd.
Lo conosci? L'hai giocato?
I'd wager a platinum necklace or two that it was broken in at least one spot.
Ok, è una gamba rotta, quindi significa che o è caduto o gli è caduto qualcosa addosso.
Could simply collapsing on the spot from a stab wound cause a break like that?
Quindi probabilmente è stato pugnalato da lì sopra dove c'era il telefono. Ho visto solo su Steam le immagini, ok. Mi sembra ci sia altro da esaminare.
Was it only coincidence that the well...
Che mi sembra che qui abbiamo esaminato tutto. Qui non abbiamo sbloccato nient'altro. Cambiamo stanza. Se ottieni un importante pezzo di informazioni, potrebbe essere utile tornare indietro e parlare con i personaggi con i quali hai parlato in precedenza. Quindi tecnicamente se torniamo alla sala da pranzo potremmo tornare a parlare con il tizio Orazio. Ma facciamo un altro salvataggio? No. Non abbiamo sbloccato nient'altro, però non abbiamo esaminato questa stanza.
The family crest of the Lees still adorned some of the flags and banners that hung from the walls in the dining room. suppose it wasn't a bad crest, really. A little overly dramatic with all the spikiness, perhaps. But then, they weren't exactly
Ok, semplicemente uno stendardo rotto. Oh mio Dio. Questo è piuttosto inquietante.
At first, I was inclined to laugh at the giant, oddly proportioned statue that was the dining room's centerpiece. But as I drew closer, I couldn't help but feel a bit intimidated by the...
Effettivamente fa abbastanza impressione.
Then again, I could say the exact same things about that gruesome one-eyed manservant Klops. Who'd have ever thought he would have so much in common with a work of art? The family crest of the least, a little overly...
Ok, qui non ci dice nient'altro.
Inside the lantern was a candle. I doubt anyone would notice if I took it with me.
All'interno della lanterna era una candela. Dubito che qualcuno avrebbe notato se l'ho preso con me. Ok.
Long narrow tables stretched down either side of
Lungo e stretto.
At one end were the remnants of our refreshments from...
Sembrava non finire mai.
But I think I'll leave them alone for now.
Ok.
I mean, it didn't look like poison had anything to do with the prince's death, but one can never be too careful.
Non mi sembra che sia stato avvelenato. Dove hai conosciuto sto gioco? L'ho trovato in un bundle e mi è sembrato interessante. Ancora la stessa bandiera. Che non mi sembra ci sia altro qui. Chi è stato sospeso? Destiny. Ok, niente, torniamo nelle altre stanze allora. Ok, andiamo nella prossima che sono i giardini. Chi c'è qui?
When I'd first arrived at the manor house, I thought it might rain that evening. And in light of recent events, I half expected a flash of lightning to provide an atmospheric backdrop to the stage of our little drama. But the night air hung cold and still, and the only sound was the rustling of weeds and brush that clawed against the foundations of the building. Wait, rustling? But there isn't any wind. What's that out
È acuta lì.
It's just me, Misfortune. Meh.
I say, what in the world are you doing skulking about in the brush like that? Don't tell me they get you to do the groundskeeping around here too.
Sometimes I do a bit of gardening, yes. You know, when things get out of hand.
Un ombrello no, a quanto pare no. Preferiscono bagnarsi.
Gardening, at a time like this?
Well, no, ma'am. Right now.
Anche lui è sospetto. Questo è Sagat di Street Fighter, in effetti. Tanto l'acqua alle spalle, giustamente. L'importanza della prospettiva.
What a relief. I do feel ever so much safer when a hulking man with an eye patch is lurking in the shadows right outside.
Certo, lei perculando tutti si fa proprio benvolere. Non la accuseranno. E somiglia un po' a Sagat. Allora, esaminiamo i giardini. Lupi? Ah, sono statue.
That when soldiers first stormed the grounds of the Lee Manor, ferocious spectral beasts appeared out of nowhere. Of course, you can't believe everything you hear. But I found myself keeping a watchful eye on the
Aveva detto che non era superstiziosa lei.
just to be sure.
Però si è fatta impressionare prima dalla statua e adesso dai lupi. Che cosa hai scritto, Raziel? Ce la puoi fare, Raziel. Ciao, Raziel. Allora, non mi sembra ci sia altro. Mi disse di aver già controllato il cortile intorno alla casa in cerca di impronte, ma credo che una sbirciata potrebbe essere utile. Vai, Isid, per insegnarteli da solo. Niente, stasera non becco per nulla i tasti alla tastiera. Hai provato a guardarla la tastiera mentre scrivi?
Apparently I thought wrong though, for as I stepped off the path into the brush, the weeds and thorns tore at my skirts and scratched my ankles. You know, I think I'll just take the one-eyed brute's word for it after all.
Non lo faccio mai. Beh sì, alla fine neanch'io guardo la tastiera quando digito, però se non becchi i tasti giusti forse conviene darci un'occhiata. Allora, baracca. La baracca ridotta a mare è posizionata all'angolo dei giardini. Goffamente provai ad aprire la porta, ma il legno si era gonfiato. Sembrava incastrata.
It was just as well, I suppose.
Io avrei voluto esplorare. Non riesco a parlare. Ah, volevo esplorare. Ok. Ok, non mi sembra ci sia nient'altro. Dove sta lo zoticone? Gira la ruota. Allora, cosa sta facendo?
My dear Clops, please tell me you didn't really think there might still be a stranger lurking around here in the underbrush?
Well, ma'am, no one was watching the door when the prince was in the hall. Whoever did it could have run right out the front door.
Why, indeed they could have. Not much gets by you, it seems. And yet, here you are, searching through the weeds at the base of the house. With the coast clear, would our furtive stranger not just have kept going?
I'm sure he probably did.
Non sa neanche lui che cosa sta facendo.
Oh, footprints now. Ah, yes, of course. And have you found any?
No, ma'am.
More's the pity. It would have been so much nicer to believe the killer was no longer in the house. Especially with our resident
su questo non ha
bodyguard busy
torto.
traipsing through the muck outside.
Sorry, ma'am, but I'm just a valet.
Sono solo un cameriere.
Of course you are.
Allora,
So, you were in quite the tizzy when you came running to find me earlier. Was it you who found the body?
Yes, ma'am. I found it in the hall, just like you saw.
And what were you doing?
Well, I let the boss, I mean, the prince, into the hall to take his phone call.
ok, quindi stava effettivamente usando il telefono, quindi è caduto dal parapetto.
So, the prince was alone then when you left him in the hall?
Yes, ma'am, without a doubt.
Why then, it appears you may have been the last one to see the poor prince alive.
Wouldn't that actually have been the killer, ma'am?
I suppose so. But then, you did just say you were quite certain he was alone.
What do you mean by that? I'm just doing my job here.
Quando si mette in questa posizione che ha l'occhio un po' storto fa un po' impressione.
Oh yes, of course. I'm sure you're quite excellent at, well, whatever it is that valets do.
E lui stacce. Allora, riguardo la telefonata, ok, questo può
That's
essere
right.
interessante.
In all this commotion, I'd almost forgotten the whole reason the prince left us was to take a phone call. Do you know who was calling?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Well, that's a little odd. They didn't give a name.
I asked, but they said the matter was confidential.
So you spoke to them then. Can you describe anything at all about the caller?
Yes, I took the call, and they asked for the prince right away. Which is a bit funny, now that you mention it. I didn't think very many people would have this number.
Ok, lui non si è sospettito per nulla.
Anyway, pretty sure the caller was a woman. She was all crisp and businesslike.
L'emittente era una donna.
I'm afraid I can't tell you more than that.
Era tutta rigida e con un atteggiamento professionale. Ok.
I suppose it would be too much to hope that this rotting old place would have call display.
Vabbè, il registro delle chiamate.
It's a wonder most of the wiring around here even works at all.
Must be magic, I suppose. Can you tell me anything about our late host? Perhaps about this grand announcement of his?
About the boss? I mean, the prince? Sorry, ma'am, but he wasn't the sort to confide in a mere valet like myself.
Oh, come now. I know how it is with servants. You're bound to have seen or heard a thing or two about the house, whether your master knows it or not.
Look, I take my duties seriously. I make it a point not to see things that I'm not
Lui fa
supposed
la
to see.
persona ligia al dovere.
Yes, I suppose not seeing things would be rather a specialty of yours. Tell me, have you worked for the prince for a long time?
Yes, ma'am. Many years now.
And you're still just a valet? Tisk tisk.
Ok, non abbiamo nient'altro da chiedere. Andiamo in un'altra stanza. Allora, cosa ci resta? Camera del re, camera del regge. Camera del re dove stavamo noi?
I returned to the king bedroom, where I'd been when the whole grisly affair started. I thought it might give me a chance to think by myself, but alas, it was not to be. The curtains were drawn back, and a particularly pernicious twerp of a girl was leaning halfway out the window. After what had already happened, it would be such a shame were she to slip and go out all the way. Young girls these days really ought to be more careful.
Sì, era il solito gatto che doveva entrare e uscire. Allora, parliamo con questa. Mamma mia, tutte queste domande. Allora, chiediamo cosa sta facendo.
My dear little girl, just what are you doing? You're liable to go for quite the little tumble if you keep leaning out the window like that.
I'm trying to get a decent signal.
Oh, for your phone? Yes, it does seem like you young people just can't
Senza di
get by
esso.
without them these days.
Ok.
I don't care about the phone. I want network access.
Devi attaccarti una corda alla porta così ci si attacca E la apre da solo. Io ce le ho le corde attaccate alle maniglie. E ogni volta le tira giù. Però a aprire le porte non ci arriva ancora. Giletti? Perché giletti?
Whatever. So I can hack the phone company records and figure out who called this house.
Addirittura questa vuole hackerare la compagnia telefonica.
You can do that, can you?
Yep.
Si è avvicinata pericolosamente.
Look, I hate people staring over my shoulder.
Ecco.
Can't you go find a fainting couch and a bottle of smelling salts or something?
Ok, chi sei veramente?
Now, Miss Leah, was it? I'm afraid I just don't know very much about you. Who are you exactly?
I'm Sherry's friend.
I rather gathered that much. But, my dear girl, what with her enormous fortune, social connections, and nauseatingly innocent good looks, I'd imagine the list of people who'd like to be friends with Miss Charisse is rather long. What's special about you?
Fine. My parents were rich too. They're in the tech business. Sherry and I went to private school together. I helped her with math, she helped me be a better person. Fair trade, I hope.
You say were. Have your parents passed away?
Trapassati.
No, we just don't get along too well right now.
Ah, and your dear old fabulously wealthy school friend took you in. How sweet of her.
Uh-huh, I see where you're going with this. And I'm not financially.
No, scusate.
Sure, I live with her, but I've got a nice little fun.
Anche qui ci vuole uno scrigno. Uno screen.
Out of fear that he'll kick me out of the house or something.
Questa forse è la più bella di tutte. Chi è che ha vinto i punti? Cala. Quindi non ho alcun motivo di uccidere il suo fidanzatino per paura che mi sbattessero fuori di casa. Ok.
Oh my, perish the thought. I'd never dream of suggesting such a thing.
No, I'm sure you've got much nastier things to save for your dreams.
Charisse e il principe.
So your friend Miss Charisse, just how long had she been seeing our dear departed host?
Not that long, but he seemed pretty intense about it. Nighttime river cruises, the opera, the theater, you name it.
Esatto, soprattutto i suoi 9 mariti.
Ah, swept off her feet into a whirlwind romance with a dark and mysterious dashing older man. Your friend must have been positive.
Io guardo le live mutate. Ciao Giasone. In che senso? Perché guardi le live mutate?
Something like that, yeah.
Qualcuno saluti Giasone in chat. Che visto che non può sentirci.
Oh, it must have been so hard for you, being left out of all that and resigned to watching from the sidelines.
Yeah, right. That kind of high society stuff isn't really my thing.
Invece era mutata la live. Ah, ok, pensavi fosse mutata da me, invece l'avevi mutata tu. Ho capito bene?
No. No, I suppose not.
Come to think of it, Wizard Boy sometimes looked a little pouty at being left out, though.
Mi fa ripensare al fatto che anche il nostro piccolo maghetto sembrava infastidito dall'essere lasciato sempre in disparte. Che sta parlando?
Really? How do you know?
Questo potrebbe essere un movente.
No, nothing like that. Just an impression I got. Not really
Un'impressione che ha avuto.
As long as Sherry's happy, I'm happy. That's all that matters.
I see. So, was she happy?
Di Orazio, sì, sta parlando di lui.
It was what she wanted. So yeah.
And try though you might, you just can't bring yourself to sound happy about that. My, how curious.
Fufu.
Look, if you're gonna pry any further, you'd better go get yourself a crowbar, don't you think?
Che razza di battuta è questa? Oh, chiediamole del primo omicidio.
So, your sweet little friend. She can be quite the tease, it seems. I was just talking to her earlier, and she let it drop that this wasn't her first murder case.
You must think you're very clever for worming that out of her. You know, I bet you're one of those people who think they're a lot smarter than they really are, aren't you?
Veramente ha detto tutto lei, quindi non rompere le palle. Per ora sono curioso di vedere se è davvero un mago. Adesso sembra tanto una roba steampunk o post-apocalittica sui generis. No, ma non credo. Cambio le cuffie, ok.
My dear Leah, something like that is not exactly the wisest thing to say when you're perched precariously on the edge of a window.
It's a good mood. Here, now. How could... No, never mind. I forgot who I was talking to.
In any case, my dear, Miss Therese said the only other one here who was involved in that case was you. No matter how smart I might or might not think I am, surely you can't blame me for wondering whether it might be relevant.
È stata lei a dirci tutto, non siamo stati noi a costringerla.
Well, it's not. Not directly, anyway.
Aha, not directly. Now we're getting somewhere.
Look, I don't want to talk about it, and I'm sure Sherry said the same thing. It was bad. For everyone, but especially for her. The truth she learned that day, she's never going to forget. And she definitely doesn't need you dredging it all up.
E quale verità? Era un'assassina. Sherry capì che era un'assassina. Il terribile passato della sua famiglia, il tuo segreto. Cosa può aver appreso? Il terribile passato della sua famiglia mi sembra un po' troppo generico. Diciamo il tuo segreto.
Oh, I think I know. She learned about you, didn't she? The deepest, darkest secret of her dearest, closest friend.
My what? Oh, do you mean the time I hacked the school computers in the 5th grade and replaced the teacher's login screen with a dancing walrus?
I think you know what I mean, my dear.
No, I'm really not sure that I do.
Ok, mi sa che non era la scelta giusta.
Come now, darling. Why else would you be so tight-lipped about this mysterious past adventure of yours?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Because I don't like you? Because I don't trust you? Because even you could be the killer? All of the above? Take a pick.
Has anybody ever told you that you can be maddeningly obstinate?
Yep.
Ok, quindi chi ha chiamato? Vediamo se l'ha scoperto.
So, who was it then that called the house?
Secondo me ha ammazzato i genitori per avere il gruzzoletto, tu dici? Quindi Sherry è un assassino in pratica?
If I tell you, will it get you to leave me alone?
My dear girl, this predicament affects all of us. If you found out anything that might be in the least helpful, surely it's in all of our interests for you to share it.
Puto è rospo.
I'll take that as a yes. Fine. The number is 11
1122 3344. Beh, non è difficile da ricordare.
Oxley Accounting Services.
An accountant? Doesn't exactly sound like a social call, now does it?
Who knows? far as I can tell, this Prince Titanico had some pretty weird friends.
Beh, perché lui in effetti non era per niente strano.
You haven't tried contacting them then?
No, that'd mean talking to more weirdos. I'd rather try and hack into their private email or something and see what's up.
I'll leave you to it, my dear.
Ok, andiamo a provare a mettere il numero. La stanza l'abbiamo già esaminata prima, no?
Had these books on the shelf a history of the...
Sì, mi sa che non c'è nient'altro da esaminare. Sì, e lì ha collaborato, secondo me lo hanno fatto perché i suoi non volevano dargli l'eredità perché sapevano voleva spendere in beneficenza. E Kala ha già una sua teoria.
I must confess, I have a terrible week.
Che qui forse ci vuole una chiave. Ok, torniamo un attimo nella sala principale, proviamo a fare il numero di telefono.
I suppose I could dial a number here.
Allora, il numero è 1122 3344.
Oxley Accounting Offices. That's what that Leah girl had said. Of course, she could have just been making it up to get rid of me. I'd certainly do the same to her.
11892. Chi mi risponde a quel numero?
Serio.
Oxley Accounting Offices, Oxley speaking. Are you a new or pre-existing client?
To tell you the truth, I'm not really sure.
I see. That doesn't bode well for the organizational state of your paperwork.
Actually, I'm calling on behalf of a friend.
In that case, please be advised then that I will only be able to answer the most basic of queries without certified written permission from your associate or friend.
Sadly, I fear my friend's signature would be difficult to obtain at the moment, but I think basic queries will do well enough for now.
Allora, la tentazione di riagganciare è fortissima, sbattere il telefono in faccia, comunque.
Might you happen to know a man called Prince Titanico?
I am familiar with that name, yes. In fact, I was hoping I might speak to him. Is he there?
I'm afraid that really won't be possible.
Very well. In that case, please inform him I will continue to try to contact him at regular intervals.
Oh, you can try. Can you tell me, was Prince Titanico a client of your office?
In the absence of written consent, I am not authorized to provide that information.
Che palle che sì.
But if you're trying to contact him, you must have some kind of business relation with him.
In the absence of written consent, I am not authorized to provide that information.
Information.
You can be just insufferably obstinate, can't you?
If by that you mean thoroughly professional, then yes.
Same thing, really.
Ok.
Now, Miss Oxley, was it? You sound like a very organized person. Can you tell me if you called this number earlier this evening?
Yes, I log all of my calls, both incoming and outgoing. And yes, I did call this number at 8:32 p.m.
E chi cazzo te l'ha dato sto numero?
Yes, 8:30. That sounds about right. Wait a minute. Isn't that rather late for an accounting office to still be open?
An 8-hour business day is standard in many sectors, but we take our work very seriously here at Oxley Accounting. Besides, it was requested that I call at precisely that time.
Requested? How odd.
Questo è interessante.
In the absence of written consent, I'm not authorized to provide that information.
Oh, of course you're not. How silly of me. Can you at least tell me if you spoke to anyone?
Ha chiamato Romea.
Yes, the call was answered. I asked to speak with a particular individual and was told to wait. For 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Yes.
Addirittura si ricorda quanti secondi ha aspettato.
And after such an oddly specific and arbitrary amount of time, you hung up?
Certainly not. Someone picked up, I introduced myself again, and then they hung up.
How rude. To think anyone could hang up on such an obviously charming personality as yours.
La vostra. Alle 8:32 al principe titanico, intendo. Puntini puntini. Glielo diciamo o non glielo diciamo? Glielo diciamo.
Miss Oxley, I'm not entirely sure how to tell you this, but Prince Titanico is dead.
I see. That will definitely have some ramifications for my paperwork.
Not only that, but it seems rather likely that he was killed precisely when he came to answer your phone call.
Noted. I suppose that explains why he hung up so abruptly and didn't call back.
Non ha fatto una piega questa qua.
Yes. Didn't you find that a little bit odd at the time?
Not really. For certain types of business, it's quite common to encounter some reluctance on behalf of the other party.
But hang on. I thought the prince was your client. Why would he be reluctant to speak with his own accountant?
Accounting is not the only service we provide at our office. We also perform audits, credit checks, and financial investigations of various sorts.
Quindi tipo recupero crediti.
Of course. Now it makes sense. The prince was being audited, wasn't he?
In the absence of written consent, I am not authorized.
Abbiamo capito.
It's quite all right, dearie. I can connect the dots myself. You've been ever so helpful. In spite of yourself, really.
You are welcome to log your opinion of our interaction on our office's website feedback form. Now, exactly who was I?
Ah, no. They're on their way. My name's Miss Fortune.
I'm quite sure that name has been in my files before. Something to do with a possible inheritance tax irregularity from a deceased spouse?
That won't be necessary. Besides, the wiring is a bit dodgy in this place. The phone could go out at any moment. Ta-ta then!
Ecco, ciao. Ok, abbiamo ottenuto un altro indizio. Da questa niente. Ta.
Ne mangio 1000 al giorno, vuoi sapere perché? Sei tutta naturale, niente meglio di te. Sono naturale, non bevo tabù. Hai poche calorie, giuste per me. Quando non ti sento tremo, svengo, sai perché? Sono rosicata, sono qui per te. Liquirizia pura, questo è un sogno per me. Che rabbia se mancassi, se non fossi con me. Anche bianco.
To have an ear for gossip and an eye for detail.
Anche Orazio.
Tell me a little more about the cast of our little drama. It was her.
Ok, questa mi sembra l'unica non sospetta. Però magari stai a vedere che è proprio lei.
There you are, Miss Fortune, darling. I must say this whole affair is just dreadful, isn't it?
Scomodo.
Tragic. Truly tragic.
Prince Titanico was an eccentric man, but he knew how to put on a show. Sadly, this is rather more than I expected, I'm afraid.
Are we really sure he didn't plan the whole thing after all? You know, have the last laugh, go out with a bang, that sort of thing?
E certo, se fosse suicidio sarebbe un bel plot twist. La collega che in svantaggio.
Oh no, my dear, I don't think so. The prince, by all accounts, was Far too fond of himself for that.
Pity. He would have made for such a delicious story. Not to mention no longer having to worry about a possible killer being on the loose.
Quite so.
Allora, esaminiamo la stanza.
On a small table near the center of the room sat a little book, the kind one could write in. Could it be a diary? And by reading it, might I steal a forbidden glimpse into the inner life of some member of the once mighty... But to my great disappointment, I found the pages empty. Ah, well, I suppose that...
Ok. Pensavo di aver trovato l'indizio, invece no. Ok, qui niente. Ah, un altro ritratto sfigurato. Beh, questo è strano. Sta avvenendo un collegamento.
I couldn't make out the lady in the ruined portrait, but I assumed it must be some grand old dame of the Lee household. Why had she been left behind, I wondered? Had the rest of the family simply not liked her? Mind you, if I ever had to sell one of my estates, I'd rather fancy leaving behind as many self-portraits as I could spare. A set of old vases sat on the dresser. Could there possibly still be anything in them? I suppose I could have stuck my hand in to feel around, but...
Che non mi sembra niente che ci sia niente di importante qui. Allora, chiediamo della famiglia di Lia.
Contessa darling, I just heard a delectable little morsel of gossip and simply must share it with someone.
Why, some scrumptious gossip is just what I need right now. Do tell me more, dear.
I was talking to the Leah girl, you know, Sharice's little hanger-on, and she hinted that she'd been feuding with her family and was more or less kicked out of the house.
Stavo giusto parlando con Lia, la piccola donna di compagnia di Sheris. Ha lasciato intendere che stava tramando con la famiglia di Sheris e di conseguenza cacciata di casa.
Oh my, how sad for the poor young thing.
To be honest, if she lived with me, I'm quite sure I'd do the same. But do you...
I dare say I know a little. Her parents were wealthy moguls in the technology sector. That is, until about a year ago.
Guru della tecnologia?
Of course they were. No wonder I didn't know who she was. I find all that technobabble so terribly dull. So, what happened?
Someone leaked the company's most sensitive records. Records that suggested corporate espionage and other unsavory business. Thanks to a rather exorbitantly priced lawyers.
Quindi qualcuno ha distrutto gli affari della famiglia.
I see. Do you think then that our very own Miss Leah was...
the one to leak the files? Oh, darling, it's unseemly to speculate about such things. All I know is that they always said it must have been an inside job.
A self-righteous brat.
Una coglioncella presuntuosa.
If that's what it takes to do what she thinks is right.
Potrebbe essere stata proprio Lia.
I don't like her any less than I already did. Darling, I have a little confession to make. Although I'd met our good host, well, ex-host, a number of times. I'm afraid I never really knew him, if you understand what I mean.
I hardly expect you're the only one in that situation, my dear. The prince had this maddening habit of talking all the time and yet somehow still saying very little.
So was he really a prince then? Do you know?
These days, title really does not mean what it once did. After all, how many do you have now?
Oh, let me see. At least 3. All by marriage, of course. Sometimes it can be hard to keep track.
Just so. No doubt our late prince could make some claim or another. But these days, who can't?
Quindi non è un vero principe.
Just about anyone can claim a tenuous connection to some great old family that was thought lost in the revolution. And it's so hard to prove them wrong. And as long as there isn't money involved, no one much cares to try.
So he called himself a prince, and that's about all anyone knew. He wasn't married or anything, was he?
Good heavens, I hope not. You did see him doting all over our sweet little Charisse, didn't you?
Come now, Comtessa. You and I both know that's proof of nothing.
So cruel, but so true. Still, if he was ever married, I never heard of it.
And you do have such a knack for hearing interesting things, darling. If there was anything to hear, I dared...
Oh, modesty.
Quindi non era sposato.
In any case, it would seem our late prince was quite the enigma then. At least I can feel glad that I wasn't the only one in the dark.
Ok, Charisse.
I don't know about you, but I can't shake the impression that Miss Charisse was, for lack of a better term, the guest of honor this evening. What do you know about her?
Oh, the poor girl. She's an only child, and her parents passed away just recently.
Yes, I feel for her. An enormous inheritance, and all of a sudden no one around to tell her how to spend it. The family, they were industrialists, were they not?
That's right, though by the end they were into pretty much everything. Manufacturing, banking, real estate, and more. They were a bit close-lipped about their net worth, but certainly one of the richest private families in the empire.
And if I recall correctly, they were a new money family, too. Money-grubbing upstarts. I think I heard them called at court from time to time.
Hai capito?
Did you really? I don't doubt it, of course. My word, that place can be just so beastly sometimes.
Actually, I thought that was rather tame. You should hear the things they call me.
Oh yes, they can say such horrid things about widows like us. Sometime you and I will have to swap stories of the more creative ones. When the circumstances are more pleasant, of course.
Of course.
Certo, certo.
You know, it was really quite shocking. One minute the prince was playing host and telling ghost stories.
Oh, indeed. That was a surprise of a most unpleasant nature.
È il mondo della finanza, contessa. Ha ammazzato più mariti di te e Miss Fortune messi insieme. Infatti.
Where were you when you heard the news? It was that one-eyed shambler in the ill-fitting coat who found me in the other bedroom.
Il cappotto
Did you find
stretto.
me first?
No. In fact, I was in here. And it was that young man with a decidedly
Esageratamente di arancione. Allora l'hanno notato tutti.
Our oh-so-helpful Horatio.
Utilissimo
Must have
Orazio.
been done fixing the lights then.
Yes, they'd only just come on. I must say, he was in quite a state, with those robes of his flapping about everywhere. I expect I would have laughed if he didn't look so
Beh,
distressed.
sarebbe a dire con tutte le vesti al vento. Non capisco.
Oh, alas, such a wasted opportunity.
Misfortune devasta.
Exactly what the matter was at first. I'm not sure he knew himself. He only said that something had happened, and we had to gather everyone together right away.
Poverazzo, cercava solo un modo per farsi notare.
And our two little darlings. You found them on the way back then?
Precisely. Just as we were coming back down to the main floor.
Well, it's good we've got that all straightened up. With so much running about the house, it's enough to make one's head spin trying to sort it all out.
Oh my word, yes! I used to get quite bad headaches myself, especially back when I was with my second husband. Mind you, those only ever seemed to come on when he was telling golfing stories.
My dear, I know exactly what you mean. So how did you know Prince Titanico then? I met him at an art auction myself. How about you?
Oh, I hardly knew him at all, really. He was an acquaintance of my late husband's. They played cards together sometimes at his club, or so I understand.
I see. Is this the first time you've seen him then, since your husband passed away?
Well, he came to the funeral, but other than that, yes. Yes, it is.
Don't you think it's a little odd that he would invite you out to a rather small event like this, when your husband was the one he actually knew?
In effetti. Anche le reazioni del principe sono un po' misteriose.
He said he thought I would appreciate the historical nature of the estate, and he's not wrong on that count. Perhaps he may have also thought I'd be a little lonely. Being that part's nonsense, of course. A woman in my position gets rather used to it. But it's sweet of the dear boy to try.
Yes, indeed. One does get used to it.
I mariti vanno e vengono.
Come and go.
Beh, non mi sembra.
Really.
Too true.
Che abbiamo chiesto tutto, cambiamo stanza. Ok, andiamo nello scantinato. Qui è dove stava Orazio.
I should be able to find the light switch. Ah, there we go. With only a little effort, I found my way down to the basement of the old house. Although our little adventure with the lighting had seemed natural enough at the time, given the condition of the house, the prince's murder had colored all of the evening's happenings with a more sinister shading.
Ok, facciamo un salvataggio che non salvo da un po'. Chissà cosa può succedere. Per aumentare la grandezza del testo. Ah, ok, perfetto. Così è più facile da leggere anche per Google. Va meglio così? In che diavolo di impero vivono dove i mariti muoiono così in fretta? Forse dare un'occhiata al pannello elettrico potrebbe accendere qualche lampadina e fare luce su questo mistero. Esaminiamo.
That must be the breaker panel. Let's take a closer look. Shall we? I don't know much about this sort of thing, but it looks to me that all the switches are on, except for one.
Sarebbe divertente far spaventare di nuovo la piccolina. Che stronza. Oddio, cosa ho fatto? Ok. E se non posso toccare nulla cosa faccio? Ah, ok. Ecco, c'era un timer, quindi come sospettavo, il fatto che la luce sia andata via può essere benissimo stato un contrattempo voluto per allontanare il principe.
You can use it to flip a breaker switch at a predetermined time. The question is, just what is it doing here?
Nel caso non è stato un incidente, sì, infatti.
The wiring is old, but it looks to me like it should all work. It's
Ok, non c'è nient'altro da esaminare qui.
The wiring is old.
Ok, siamo scesi solo a prendere il timer in pratica. Ok, andiamo nell'ultima stanza. Qui non dovrebbe esserci nessuno.
The prince had called the proverbial smoke-filled room. It struck me that this would be the perfect place to call everyone and reveal the truth to this mystery. All in good time, of course.
Ok, quindi qui dovremmo dire la nostra.
In the meantime, I thought it wise to take another look around. On one side of the room, there was a wine rack filled with dusty old bottles. Most were empty, but a few still contained small amounts of what must... At least, I hoped it was just wine. With a family like the Lees, one...
Ah, si è fregata della bottiglia di vino, brava.
The large crystal globe in the cabinet was impossible to miss. It seemed to be filled with a swirling red mist of some kind, and as I stared into it, I thought for a moment that I could see a pair of malevolent eyes.
Per un secondo sembrava di poter intravedere degli occhi malefici. O soltanto uno. Cos'è questo, un indizio? Stai dicendo che è stato Clops?
But surely it must have just been my...
Io lo prendo come un indizio, eh.
The strange pose of the statue in the corner of the room rather reminded me of my third husband.
L'ultima volta che vidi il giovanotto.
Last time I saw the dear
Il giovanotto.
he was in the process
Stava
of
per perdere l'equilibrio per poi cadere giù per le scale.
terrible tragedy, really. I had to have those stairs completely replaced just to get the blood out.
Certo.
That cabinet had a few things of interest in it, if I remember correct. A padded velvet cushion sat in the cabinet looking somewhat forlorn. Surely it was meant to showcase something. I could swear that something had been on this cushion.
C'era il pugnale.
Yes, that was it. There had been a knife on the cushion during our tour. I was sure of it. But who could have taken it? I cast my mind back, trying to remember if anyone had lingered behind for even a moment. But it availed me nothing. The prince had been the first to leave the room, but that was the only thing of which I was certain.
In effetti non ci ho fatto caso all'animazione se c'era qualcuno rimasto indietro.
In the cabinet, there was an odd little doll that seemed to be made out of straw. Was it some kind of voodoo doll?
Sarebbe da rivedere con la scena. Quando siamo usciti da qui, c'era qualcuno che era rimasto indietro. Peccato. Deve essere utile. Allora, prima di cercare di capire chi è il colpevole, proviamo a riparlare di nuovo con tutti. Vediamo se C'è qualcosa di nuovo. Allora, nuova gestione.
So, my poor little girl. I was talking to my friend the Comtessa, and she told me she'd heard people at court say the rudest things about your late family.
I suppose they might have done. Sometimes people will say things.
A volte la gente dicono, ok.
I try not to let it bother me.
Still, it must be awfully hard being a new money family when there are so many busybodies who go on and on about tradition and blue blood and that sort of thing.
Oh, I don't think so. Some people will say cruel things about anybody. I've heard them say things even about the Comtessa, too. So it wasn't just us.
About the Comtessa, really? I thought you said you didn't listen to that sort of thing.
I try not to. But Titanico talked about it sometimes.
Titancio.
I think he knew the Comtessa's last husband before he passed away.
Conosceva l'ultimo marito della contessa. Com'è? Questo lo sapevamo.
My goodness! Surely he didn't imply that she was in any way responsible. That would be unthinkable.
Well, he did say there were rumors. But I'm sure that's all they were.
Ciao Destiny, buonanotte.
People say nasty things sometimes.
Quindi lei ci sta... cioè sta insinuando che in qualche modo la contessa possa essere stata, tra virgolette, minacciata da Titanico.
Yes, my dear. They most certainly do.
L'ha detto perché è vero o solo per sviarci? Ok, vediamo cosa ci dice lui del timer invece. Non può non averlo visto. Oh, la tua magia. Questa è la domanda che vorrebbe fare Kala.
Horatio, my dear, I'm so sorry, but I'm afraid you've got some explaining to do.
Posso bannare qualcuno qua? Non credo. Ciao, Critical.
Now, Miss Fortune, I already told you, a magician...
Yes. Never reveals his secrets and all that. Why don't we just skip to the part where you tell me what this is all about?
Come stai, Critical? Ecco, dici cos'è il timer. Cosa ci faceva lì?
Where did you find that?
In the breaker room, darling. Right where you left it.
Oh.
Here's the part where you start talking, then.
Well, you're right. I put it there. It was Titanico's idea. He thought the whole blackout business would add some drama to the evening.
Potrebbe essere vero, in effetti. Come uno che ha ottenuto 3 follower e 3 bannati. Che è successo? Chi è bannato?
An excuse to startle us. Especially poor little Miss Charisse. So there was nothing wrong with the wiring?
Quindi quella del blackout era una sceneggiata, la telefonata no.
Nothing at all. That's why he had to make sure to send me to deal
Dimmi
with it.
minchia che cado nel cazzo con razzismo e insulti. Ah, oddio. Ultimamente rompono i coglioni più spesso del solito.
So, you were the only other one who knew about this little special effect then?
Yes, I do believe so. I did say that the prince often took me into his confidence.
Sarà che gli asili sono chiusi d'estate. Può essere. hanno più opportunità di cagare il cazzo.
Yes, several times, I think.
Ok, quindi la storia del timer si risolve così?
Had nothing to do with the murder.
Non ha nulla a che fare con l'omicidio, dici tu?
It does seem that way, I suppose. At least.
Potrebbe essere vero. Oh, chiamali di Clops.
So, that Klops fellow. He was the prince's valet. Have I got that right?
Comunque Sirio, ti mando una cosina su Telegram e voglio una tua reazione in diretta. Se è l'immagine con la libreria piena di Meat Clot, l'ho già vista. E c'è già stata la mia reaction.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Tor is the butler, but today's his day out.
Me l'ha mandata Luna, mi pare. Eh sì. Me l'ha mandata oggi pomeriggio. Mr. Tauro è il maggiordomo. Oggi è il suo giorno di riposo. Ah, quindi non c'è sempre Clops.
So is he, a good valet then? I only ask because I just found him skulking about in the brush outside, and I wasn't really sure if that was the sort of things valets usually do.
Was he now? Well, I can't say I know terribly much about the exact duties of my dear friend's household staff, but I know he did some gardening from time to time.
Ok, quindi sta confermando il fatto che sia una specie di giardiniere.
Indeed, gardening. I believe he said something along
Oppure potrebbero essere d'accordo sti due.
Yes, well, he was quite good at whacking weeds. Or...
I suppose that sounds about right. If I were a weed, or really, even if I wasn't, I wouldn't want to get whacked by him either.
Come to think of it, he did seem a bit jealous of Mr. Tor's position from time to time.
Chi è Mosto Taur?
No doubt being a butler pays better than a mere valet. Though I'm not sure how either stacks up against a grand magus.
Dimmi, Luna.
Need I remind you, Miss Fortune, I'm not, was not.
Ok, Luna, buonanotte. A domani. Allora, lui non era un membro, anzi, giustamente era solo un amico, tra virgolette.
But of course, how silly of me. So back to Mr. Klops then. Do you know if he had issues with money?
Really couldn't say. Perhaps someone on the staff did, though. I did sometimes hear Mr. Tor complain about small valuables going missing.
So very interesting.
Oh, quindi era tipo... Quindi è tipo un cleptomane?
It is my pleasure to be of service.
Continua a essere sospetto lui però.
Horatio, dear, are you certain you won't tell me about this special announcement that the prince was going to make?
Of course. My lips are sealed.
Questa è una citazione, credo, voluta a The Wolf Among Us.
Oh, ho-hum. Then I suppose I'll just have to tell you about it.
You... what?
It had to do with this, didn't it?
Ok, con cosa aveva a che fare? Con... Anello? O il vino? Credo con l'anello. Però con l'anello.
Alakazam, how did you get that?
I rather wish I knew that myself. But for now, I think it's best to stay on track while the wizard is still wonderstruck. Tut-tut, my dear. Magicians aren't the only ones who get to keep secrets. The important thing is what the prince planned to do with it. It was his, wasn't it?
Well, yes. I mean, it was. Well, it wasn't exactly for him, you see. Yet, oh dear.
Non era esattamente il suo, e di chi era?
No need to worry, darling. I already know exactly what it was for.
Lo voleva vendere, voleva dichiararsi a Cherise, voleva dichiararsi a me. Beh, forse voleva dichiararsi a Cherise.
It's simple, really. He was going to propose to Cherise.
And what makes you say that?
Come now, my dear. It doesn't take a fortune teller to see that he'd been doing everything in his power to sweep her off her feet. Add to that a diamond ring sized for slender little fingers.
It is true that he was quite, taken with her, yes. I mean, who wouldn't be, really?
Oh, yes. Sweet.
O forse voleva venderlo, perché aveva dei guai finanziari. Forse dovevo selezionare la prima.
You're not going to tell Miss Cherise about this, are you?
Oppure voleva sposarla per ereditare la sua fortuna, visto che era in guai finanziari. Potrebbe essere di tutto.
No, at least not yet. Like I said, sometimes I like to have a secret or two up my sleeve myself. But confirming that I was right about the prince's intent certainly does paint this mystery in a whole new light.
Ok, lui non ha più niente da dirci. Io farei un salvataggio tattico, perché ci avviciniamo alla fine. Andiamo a vedere se gli altri hanno qualcos'altro da dirci. No, ho sbagliato stanza. Sbagliato stanza. Vediamo come risponde Klops all'accusa di essere un ladro. Non possiamo dirglielo?
That's right. In all this commotion, I'd almost forgotten the whole...
No, ma'am.
Well, that's a little odd.
I asked, but they said the map.
So you spoke?
Yes. Anyway.
I
No, ma'am.
Must...
Ok. Poi c'è la coglioncella, come l'avevo chiamata prima. No, neanche questa ci dice niente. Vediamo qualcos'altro. Niente pure questa. Nella sala fumatori no. Vediamo se possiamo infamare con Cherise. No, ok. Ok. Torniamo alla sala fumatori. Vediamo cosa succede se richiamiamo tutti. Come in un classico di Agatha Christie. Sono sicuro di essere pronto per questo, non c'è modo di tornare indietro dopo che io ho chiamato tutti qui e non saprei cos'altro fare, quindi. Allora, proviamo a ottenere un finale. Chiaramente c'è più di un finale. Sicuramente almeno un errore l'abbiamo commesso parlando con Lia, quando le abbiamo chiesto informazioni sul passato di Cherise. Non mi pare che quella fosse la risposta corretta. Se c'è qualche altro indizio in giro, non lo so. Però, proviamo a ottenere un finale. Quasi certamente non è il finale giusto. Che credo che acchiapparlo alla prima botta non sia facile. Però vediamo. Ma soprattutto, secondo voi, chi è stato?
The police weren't yet here, but it made no matter. I had seen everything I needed to see.
Avevo già capito tutto.
It was time to
Ok.
lay this mystery to rest and expose the guilty party for all to see.
Non ci sono vari slot, quindi spero di non dovermelo rigiocare tutto. Per vedere gli altri finali.
I do so love it when someone other than me gets their comeuppance.
Ok, tutti cosplay di Luna, puntini puntini.
Wonderful. Everyone's here.
Begin, what exactly?
Buonanotte Raziel. Alla prossima.
Why, exposing the murderer, of course.
You mean you know who it is?
Of course I do, my dear. Don't you?
Well, no. I'm not sure.
Pity. You were the one who said we had to see the truth for ourselves or something, weren't you? Well, it's a good thing that at least one of us has been busy this past little while.
Come now, darling, you simply can't keep us in suspense like this. Are you going to tell us or not?
Che io vorrei porre l'attenzione un attimo sulla mano destra di questa poveretta. Che cosa le è successo? Non lo so. Comunque.
Yeah, after all this, it better be good. Not that I'm getting my hopes up or anything, mind you.
Tut tut. All in good time, my dear little girl. First, we all need to agree on some basic facts. Mr. Klops, you've been posted out in front of the house ever since we found the body, yes?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
And did you see anyone leaving the house? Or anybody hanging about at all?
No, ma'am. There was no one there. And nobody would have got past me, that's for sure.
No, I'm sure they wouldn't. That glowering gaze of yours alone would be enough to send them scurrying back the way they came. As for the rest of us, did anyone find any trace of a break-in? Broken windows, muddy footprints, anything at all?
Indeed not. I saw nothing of the sort, and if I might say so, a magician's eyes are trained to spot even the smallest of details.
I didn't see anything either.
Not a thing.
Ah, good then. So we agree. Nobody else has entered or left the house, which means that the killer is one of us.
Darling, this is just too much. If you make us wait even a moment more, I shall need a glass of brandy and a bottle of smelling salts.
Oh, I'll take more orange juice. If someone is getting drinks, that is.
Yes, sir. But first, how about we hear who did it?
This is it then. There's no going back. It's time to end this. Whoever I point to now is not going to be terribly pleased with me. But that's fine, as I'm not terribly pleased with them either. If they wanted to have half a chance of getting away with this, they made a most misfortunate choice in trying to frame me.
Allora, chi può essere l'assassino? C'è da dire che Solo Orazio conosceva come si chiama? L'anello. La storia dell'anello. E ce lo siamo trovati noi nella borsa, quindi... Non saprei chi incolpare. Dovrebbe anche essere stata la contessa, visto che in un certo qual senso era stata accusata di aver ucciso il suo ultimo marito. Proviamo con la contessa, va.
It was you, Comtessa de Clessidra. You killed Prince Titanico.
Me? Oh, come now, darling, you can't be serious. Tell us who you really think did it. You are serious? Oh dear. And here I thought we were friends.
Now, ladies, I'm sure you can still be friends. No doubt this is all just a misunderstanding.
Oh, really? Would you still have been friends with the prince if he'd accused you of murder?
Well, you have to understand, the prince, he had kind of a dark sense of humor sometimes.
Well, I do know that Miss Fortune here doesn't mind a bit of dark humor herself. I really hope that's what this is.
I'm afraid this is no joke, but hopefully we can agree at least that it's nothing personal. That was a lie, of course. It became personal the instant the killer tried to frame me.
Good. I do prefer to remain civil about these things. But darling, why should I want to kill the prince? I hardly even knew the man.
Why, thank you for indulging me, dear. In fact, I don't think that's such a terribly difficult question to answer. You see, the prince...
Stava spargendo dicerie sulla morte di vostro marito, sì. Penso che sia questo.
Spreading rumors about you of a most dangerous nature. Rumors about the nature of your late husband's untimely death.
He did sometimes say there were rumors at the court, but it was all just what other people were saying.
Oh, my dear. Trust me, I know a bit about spreading gossip myself. It's just what the other people are saying.
Okay, so they were rumors. So what? They're always saying nasty things in that den of snakes.
I dare say, Miss Leah, that you are an outsider to this particular game. For a woman like the Comtessa, reputation and the ability to control information are everything. Then along comes Titanico, a man wanting to play the same game, and even with some amount of skill at it. I expect it was at your husband's funeral that he first approached you, wasn't it, Comtessa?
Contessa, allow me to congratulate you on a touching service. A true tribute to your late husband's gentle soul.
He was just the sweetest man, wasn't he? I know that I shall miss him dearly.
Indeed. Although I must say his trusting nature did not always serve him well at the card table. Sometimes he would let you get away with the most outrageous of bluffs. But he was a joy to play with all the same.
Oh yes, that would be just like him. Of course we never played at home. It's not best to introduce extra competition like that into a relationship, don't you think?
Of course. I agree. Besides, I have a sneaking suspicion that you would have been much better than him at keeping your cards. Perhaps you prefer that your husband did not see just how clever and deceitful his wife could be when she really wanted, no?
You're quite the flatterer, Prince. I haven't played much for many years now.
No doubt you were a force to behold in your prime. I'm sure of it. But I shall bid you farewell for now.
Perhaps Titanico had incriminating evidence of some kind. Or perhaps he didn't. Either way, it was clear he was a threat to you, Comtessa. His having been acquainted with your husband would give his insinuations the credibility that others lacked.
Okay, so let's say there was some sort of cloak and dagger power play going on here. Isn't bumping the guy off yourself a bit drastic? I mean, seems like the kind of dirty work you snooty souls would slough off on someone like Klops here.
Hey, just what are you trying to say? I'm just a regular valet doing his job.
Leah just means that employees like you are sometimes asked to do undesirable work.
Sì, l'avevamo capito.
Oh, well, that's true enough. Do you have any idea how fussy the prince was about how shiny his shoes had to be?
Yes, Mr. Klops, I'm sure your work was terribly trying and all that, but the point's not a bad one. Normally, the Comtessa would prefer not to act so directly, I'm sure. But tonight, something forced her hand.
You mean, you think she thought the prince was going to reveal something to us?
He told us so, did he not? He was going to make a special announcement, were it not stopped by his untimely death.
Quanto è strana la faccia di quello che va bene, è vero. Ogni tanto diventa un po' tutta storta.
And you think he was going to reveal some preposterous theory about my late husband's death in front of all of us? Darling, that's completely absurd!
Is it now? I think the prince had this whole little show carefully planned. He didn't tell all those stories about the fall of the Lee family just for fun. It was a message about how even respected aristocrats, powerful ones that meddled in politics, can fall in the blink of an eye.
Well, I can't deny it does sound like something my late friend might have done. He did love his drama and mystery, after all.
Yes, it was a win-win for the prince. Maybe the Comtessa offers to buy his silence. Or maybe he gets to publicly expose a villain and look like a hero in front of his lady friend. The only thing he didn't count on was how decisively the Comtessa would act when backed into a corner.
I still maintain this is all nonsense, but I can see we're not going to get nowhere arguing about it. In any case, it doesn't matter. How in the world are you proposing that an aging widow like myself
Yes, indeed. Let's consider how the prince might have died.
How? Don't we know how? Took a shiv right to the back.
He was stabbed, yes. But was that truly the fatal wound? You see, in actuality, the prince...
È stato spinto giù, sì.
was pushed first and was only stabbed later, once he'd been rendered helpless by the fall.
Misfortune could be right, I think. It looked to me like he'd fallen as well.
Precisely. This happened up on the landing, next to the phone where he'd gone to take his call. If he was distracted and standing right next to the railing, a sharp
Siamo vicini alla fine,
from a
sì.
woman of the Comtesse's
Penso qualche altro
would
minuto.
be enough to trip him over the edge.
Ci sarebbero poi altri finali, però vediamo che finale ci esce.
Guess that makes sense. If he was already on the ground and couldn't fight back, it'd be a lot easier to stab him without getting blood all over.
My, Mr. Klops. You almost sound like you're speaking from experience.
What? No, I just got a professional interest. Bloodstains are a real pain to get out of clothing, you know.
Oh, I don't doubt it. In any case, our clever Comtessa couldn't risk that the prince would survive the fall. So, she finished him off with a dagger that she'd had the foresight to pick up during our tour of the house.
Wait! There was a dagger in the cabinet right here in this room.
Sherry's right.
We were all in this room, dear. If there's a dagger missing, any one of us could have taken it. The real question is, where, pray tell, is this dagger now?
This is it. If I can just show what she did with the missing dagger, we can end this war of words with real, irrefutable evidence. I think I can answer that question for us. At this very moment, the missing dagger is...
Ce l'ho addosso nella mia borsetta. Nella mia borsetta.
Right here, as a matter of fact.
Oh, she's armed. Stay back, everyone.
Oh, relax, you wishy-washy wizard. I'm not threatening you. I found this in my bag a little earlier. It was placed there to frame me, after the Comtessa used it to stab the prince.
Darling, that's absurd. How could I possibly have done that?
It's true. Slipping a knife like this into my bag wouldn't be easy. You would need a distraction. Let's think on that, shall we? Was there ever a moment tonight when we were all certain to be looking at one thing in particular?
Gadzooks! It would have to be when we all saw the body.
Precisely. You couldn't risk having the knife on your person after the body had been found, and so you took advantage of that moment to rid yourself of the evidence and frame me in the process.
I am sorry, but that can't be right.
It can't?
You see, when we came back to the hall, we didn't all come together. Horatio found me, Leah, and the Comtessa, and we came into the hall from one side.
Good thinking, Sherry. She's right.
Oh, hush, children. Just let me think then. She must have...
Darling, I think you've had your say. Allow me to make a suggestion. You've been carrying that knife around all...
Che come immaginavo sicuramente va a finire male.
What? No! I thought I explained this. I have this knife because the killer is trying to frame me.
Oh, you can't fool us, Miss Fortune. We can all see that you're the one trying to do the framing here. I know misdirection when I see it.
Thanks, but I think we got that far so...
I would. I think I hear the police.
I'll keep an eye on Miss Fortune until they get here.
Miss Fortune, how could you? How could you try to make someone innocent suffer for what you've done?
But I am innocent. The very picture of innocence.
Beh, non proprio.
A valiant effort, Miss Fortune, truly. But this time, luck really has caught up with you.
Ok, abbiamo ottenuto il finale cattivo. Ok, se faccio carica, che succede? Ok, posso ricaricare uno dei qualsiasi dei salvataggi fatti in precedenza. Ok. Beh, direi che come gioco è interessante. Non è facile capire come sono andate effettivamente le cose. Per quanto non ci siano moltissimi personaggi alla fine. Anche se i disegni però, boh, sì, vabbè, non erano il massimo i disegni. Meno sospettati. Beh, potrebbe effettivamente Beh, a questo punto direi che possiamo escludere la contessa. Fatemi abbassare la musica che mi sembra un po' alta. Direi che possiamo escludere la contessa, quindi a questo punto potrebbe essere o Clops, che è venuto con me, oppure potrebbe essere stato, diciamo, l'indizio chiave potrebbe essere riguardare l'animazione di chi si è spostato per ultimo dalla stanza all'inizio del gioco. Miss Fortune è tutto un complotto. Se stai ricaricando da qui è stato prima o dopo?
My beautiful Charisse, please come in.
Ok.
Without you.
You're too kind.
Qui c'è ancora...
And this must be Leah.
Dobbiamo ancora fare il tour. Andiamo a vedere chi è stato l'ultimo a uscire dalla stanza. Quando siamo andati nella sala fumatori.
This is the smoking room. Did the... Or was this the proverbial smoke-filled room where...
My attention was drawn to a curio cabinet on one side of the room. This cabinet, are these items original?
I believe so. The Lees were well known at...
In effetti qui non c'è Clops.
That sorcery ran strongly in the Lee family, you know.
Great. As if we didn't have a...
Come now, surely a smart little...
Magic and superstitions, no.
No need to worry, young lady. You're a...
We will have time to look around in for the moment.
Ok, non si vede l'animazione. Allora è un'altra camera. In effetti non c'è Clops in questo tour.
Home to the master of the house.
Credevo fosse questo l'indizio più importante, invece no. Comunque è da studiare le varie combinazioni nel terzo atto. Penso che si possa addirittura provare a incolpare tutti e vedere che succede. Però chissà, magari me lo faccio... ci do un'occhiata da solo alla prossima live, all'inizio della live. Vi svelo chi era il colpevole, il vero colpevole. Ok, dai. Direi che possiamo chiudere. Vabbè, dai. In generale non è stato malaccio come visual novel. Sì, vado invece che è già tardi, è mezzanotte passata, si muore anche di caldo. Devo togliermi ste cuffie. Quindi ci vediamo, penso giovedì. A meno che non ci siano cambiamenti. Ok, dai. Buonanotte a tutti, grazie della compagnia. Alla prossima. Ciao ciao.